Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time, 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade, 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Give us access to our money.
As always.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Air this morning, it's a regular on Open Air and also a political analyst. He is Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu. Good morning, Ugochukwu, and welcome.
Good morning, Laurentia. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to the vast people and Nigerians, and also those who follow ATN on different social media networks across the globe. Laurentia, has not been easy. See, when they define the world as a village, we thought it was a mere rhetoric. Something is happening far away, millions of miles away in Iraq, and it's affecting Nigeria.
Iran, not Iran.
In Iran, and it's affecting Nigeria because now we don't have light. We can fuel at approximately 1,000. And again, our government, successive governments, not Tinubu's government, has failed Nigerians because of refinery. This is the time Nigeria should be, refining and selling to the local consumers. But it is what it is, Laurentia.
All right, very well. And moving on to the story. Gunmen on Friday attacked the convoy of the former Minister of Transportation and ex-River State Governor Rotimi Amechi in Ubima Community, Ikwere local government area of River State, while also setting ablaze the ward office of the African Democratic Congress in the area. Amechi had returned to his hometown to participate in his electronic registration as a member of the ADC when the incident occurred. Reports indicated that suspected thugs had earlier mounted a roadblock along the Ubima or Manwa Road, preventing buses conveying party supporters from accessing the community ahead of his arrival. The attackers were said to have invaded the area on Thursday night and set the ADC ward office on fire before shooting sporadically within the community. The gunmen also reportedly riddled the gate of Amechi's family residence with bullets in what appeared to be an attempt to intimidate him and disrupt the political event. However, when Amechi eventually arrived at about 12:15 p.m., his security operatives engaged the attackers after they blocked his convoy. The confrontation forced the gunmen to retreat into nearby bushes after Amechi's security team reportedly displayed superior firepower. Following the incident, Amechi addressed supporters who had gathered for the e-registration exercise, urging them to remain calm and avoid violence despite the provocation. He also inspected the burnt ADC office following his visit. Amechi commended the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, the Director of the Department of State Services, and the Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps for their swift and professional response. He, however, called on security agencies to identify and prosecute those responsible for the attacks, warning that failure to protect lives could push citizens to resort to self-defense. The former governor also urged the state government to strengthen security across Rivers State while encouraging ADC members to intensify mobilization ahead of future elections. What is your take on this, Ivan Chukwugochukwu?
Laurentia, this is a very sad tale. This is very disheartening, the least. It's very, it's very shameful. It's very uncharitable for a democratic state like Rivers State to be witnessing such in what we call, when we say that politics is a game of interest, your interest must not align with mine. And the state, those who have the state apparatus around themselves should not use it to intimidate others. And again, you agree with me that the face-off between Amechi and Nyesom Wike's administration, or their fallout, has been deepening over the years, that those who call themselves stakeholders and elder statesmen in Rivers State have not taken it into cognizance to bring those two brothers and two warring political gladiators to a round table. Concentrating on the Nyesom Wike and the Fubara face-off, leaving the bigger elephant, which is the two gladiators. Two of them now can pride themselves as former governors and ministers, And Amechi still holds a superior political office compared to Nyesom Wike, because he was Speaker of the House of Assembly for 8 years. And he was even the chairman of Nigerian House of Assembly Speakers. So, and he served 8 years as a federal minister. So that rivalry is not ending anytime soon. And the people around are not doing anything about it. It is very, very unfortunate. And these are the two prominent sons of Rivers State that when they come together, they could make other states quake when Rivers State is mentioned in the Committee of States in Nigeria. And the attack on Amechi is really something I call a childish act, because if Amechi were to be, display the kind of things we know him for, because he was also a student leader. Nyesom Wike was also a student leader, and both of them are lawyers. There are so many groups and organizations in Nigeria that should call both of them to order. They have friends across the political divide, they have friends across professional divide, that should call those, so that this electioneering season, Rivers State will not go back to the sad tales we know Rivers State for. Because Rivers State has been in the books of Nigerians, in the memory of Nigerians for the very long reason during electioneering time. But this year is becoming obvious. But what made it not to be so obvious in 2022, 2023 was the executive orders that Nyesom Wike issued period before that election that deterred some of the opposition parties from even having freedom to campaign in Rivers State, which in my thinking, if it had happened like this, it would have been a very sad tale. Recall that Atiku was not allowed to come here to Rivers State to campaign, and APC was gagged, whose flag bearer was Tony Cole, and some other political parties, because of the executive orders put in place by the governor. So if the kind of person that the current, I mean, Senator Fobara, who has not even found his feet, not to talk of issuing orders that will deter other political parties from carrying out their campaign and exercising their democratic rights, have not done that. So now you find out that Amechi coming into Rivers State is his inalienable right. He has the right to campaign, has the right to be registered in his ward, which we saw other political parties do. So why would he? And all fingers will be pointing at the opposition. Who is the opposition? Is the FCT militants camp.
But that's what you have been insinuating since you have you have been speaking, because I wanted you to learn before I ask you that question. From your analysis so far, you, on the other hand, have also pointed fingers at the FCT minister.
Yes, of course.
When you were analyzing this whole thing, before you even went to the matter proper, you were analyzing the long-standing rivalry between both of them.
Yes.
And then you now started addressing the attack proper, and you still brought in the FCT minister into it. Now, usually when attacks happen, right, some certain groups come out to take responsibility that, oh, we did this, we did that. But in this instance, nobody has come out to claim responsibility for this. One would say probably it's a political attack, and therefore we are not expecting people to claim responsibility for that as well. However, you have now said it is that these gunmen are from you're alluding that, they are from the FCT minister's camp. From what you have been saying so far,
yes,
you are alluding that they are from the FCT minister's camp. What variables did you consider when you arrived at that conclusion?
Yes. From the inception of what I've said, Laurentia, because of the rivalry and the political climate in Rivers State we've seen over time, and with the tenacity and the obvious throwing caution to the wind that those people, they came on Thursday, assaulted people, set the place ablaze. We saw this during the fallout of 2023 general elections in Rivers State here. We saw people display, we saw people display native and traditional whatever around the INEC office. We also saw people who made inflammatory statements and nobody called them to account. We also saw the issue between the FCT minister's camp and the governor's camp. So nobody has come to hold anybody to account. And you recall that in any sense society, once something happens and the government did not react, I've not had the governor of Rivers State condemn the attack. I've not had any press release from there, just like what happened to be in Edo State. Nobody claimed responsibility. I thank God you came to that realization that in our society, people don't claim responsibility for these infractions. And again, when it's endangering lives, the government, whether it is sponsored or not, but once something of this nature takes place in a state, like when I sat here last time, I said that Openholo and the federal government did not issue any statement condemning or trying to say something about what happened to P2B. That was sarcastic.
Hold on, he did. However you look at it, there was a reaction from the government of Edo State, but we are not discussing Edo State. Hold on, please. I don't want us to just oppose it at all, because they are not the same. The situations, the circumstances, everything, they are not the same. So I don't want us
but this is,
we will
yes.
still come to those state stories. I don't want us to merge it. They are not the same.
But now
you were talking about, you were making reference to certain political attacks that happened in the past in Rivers State,
yes.
and you said that
nobody took responsibility.
The government did not condemn. Well, one would say to a large extent, at some point in some of these attacks, the police came out to make statements.
And where are the white report?
Can you just hold on, please?
Yes.
You will still have your say. The police came out at some point to make statements. Now, whether the police gave us, much later came out to give us updates on whatever it is, they did not. And in some cases, some persons were taken to court.
Of course, yes.
For example, the bombing of the River State House of Assembly complex. Some persons were taken to court. Until now, that matter, I don't know whether it's still alive or dead. Okay. But still moving on, there have been attacks also where the governor came out to address it. For example, sometime last year in 2025, towards the build-up of the local government elections, that was cancelled,
yes.
The governor came to RISIEC office to make statements with regards to possible attacks, with regards to the fact that there were blockades and possible invasion of the RISIEC
office.
The governor came out to make statements to that effect. The governor at some point again has come out to react to certain attacks against his people, where he said clearly that they will have to, that he heard that there are plans to arrest some of his people. Actually, it was those people that actually did make some attacks, and he said they will have to pass through him to arrest any of his boys. I'm quoting the governor.
Of course,
now,
that's what he said.
When you say, oh, nobody has taken account, I can actually go on and say, give you examples of things that have happened in the past in Rivers State where one or two persons with regards to the police and the governor. Now, moving forward, nobody has come out to claim. I'm asking these questions clearly because
yes.
You have accused the FCT minister of being the brain behind these attacks on the former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi. If you say it is the FCT minister, what variable did you consider when you arrived at this very strong allegation?
You know, the variables are very clear because being a political watcher and also a student of political science, you begin to, take into account what happened in the last FCT council election, the statements credited to the FCT minister. Then you also...
Statements like what?
The statements like, go and vote, leave the rest for me. If you're not supporting Mr. President, you're not going to win. Mm-hmm. These are the statements credited to FCT minister.
How does that translate to the violence in Rivers State?
I'm going there. Those are weighty statements that could, could snowball or trigger into... you see, the FCT minister may not be necessarily giving orders, but this is Nigeria where the attack dogs, the people that want to feel we are around, and we are doing this, and we are representing your interest. These are some of the things such people could do. But in Rivers State, it is on record that the only opposition in Rivers State now is Amechi and the Wike's camp, because of the wave with which the ADC is coming with. Because ADC has just won their case. Since all this while Amechi has been coming to Rivers State and going, what has happened? Did anybody know that Amechi comes in and goes? But now that Amechi is coming to his village to register formally as the member of ADC, suddenly an attack ensued. If you draw in philosophy, that's what we call in logic, that's what we call the premises. You draw from your premises your inference, you draw your conclusion. Your conclusions may be right or wrong, but from the invariables around you, you could deduce and then arrive at a conclusion. Then, the major issue here for me is because of what you could pretend in the polity of River State going forward. Because if with such, such tenacity in the glare of the daylight, some people came to block a former governor of the state, block the people that were going to receive him from accessing a particular place. Not only that, setting the place ablaze. And even for Rotimi Amechi to be applauding the DSS and the Commissioner of Police. But this attack has gone on. Who prevailed on the attack? Who arrived at the nick of time to prevent that before he himself came in at about 12:15 in the noon. And it is on record that it is not even the response of those people, but his own security that repelled the attack. Then the question will be, was there no distress call? Or in a case like this, was the people putting in place this political gathering, did they not alert the police in Obima or its surroundings? Was there no police post, a DPO attached to the place? Was there no security arrangements made for the coming home of the governor of the state, a two-time minister, and also a former speaker of the House of Assembly in River State? These are the state begging for question. Because if such attack could have gone on, and the assailants or the thugs has perfected all what they planned, at the end of the day, they say that succor came in form of response. What do you call that in the face of what we know Nigeria to be? People have their phones. Even I myself, immediately I see something at my neighborhood, I make calls to the police control. Then my final take on this will be the political actors in River State should not take us to
let's not even get there at your final take yet,
okay.
Because we are still looking at the variables, and I want to take your variables. Let us, look into the variables you mentioned critically one by one. Now, the first variable you said you considered was the FCT minister's statement during the FCT local polls,
yes,
where you said he said that people should go and vote and leave the rest for him, and that if you're not supporting Tinubu, what will happen again? You will not win.
You will not win.
Correct?
He will not support you.
He will not support you. Now, if you're not supporting Tinubu, I will not support you. Then go and vote, leave the rest for me. This statement was made in FCT.
Yes.
How then does it translate to violence in ward registration in Ubima? I am trying to make two of them make sense, because now this statement by the FCT minister was made with respect to an actual election.
Can I address
While
that?
this is a pre-election exercise, it is purely a party matter. It is not even an election matter in this instance. It's purely a party matter. How does the statement that the city minister made is that statement violent? How does that translate to actual violence or actual shootout in River State?
Do you know what?
Do you
know what political statements mean? When a political actor comes to make a statement, input, saying that, if you don't support Mr. President, you will not win. I will not support you, you will not win. That in itself
is inciting.
All right. That in itself is very weighty. I think I defined it with the word weighty.
If you will not support President Tinubu, I will not support you.
And you will not win.
Hold on. With regards to FCT polls. Now let us look at what I will call a proper political statement that is inciting. When a former president of this country, before he became president, during the campaign said the blood of monkeys and baboons will be on the streets. What does that mean? Is that not a direct statement of violence?
A direct statement of violence that will fall out of the elections.
A fallout of the elections that was going to happen. A statement that was made during campaign when he said the blood of monkeys and baboons will be on the streets.
Yes.
This, we are now looking at it, right? Pre-election. Yes. This is pre-election during campaign season. As against the FCT minister statement that said, if you do not support President Tinubu, I will not support you. You will not win. And this was made during actual election in FCT. And then, roughly a week or some days later, there was a shootout in Ubima with regards to ward registration. Not even campaign, not even election.
These are political activities.
Hold on. It is a party activity. They are not the same in any way. At least I've established when this statement was made, why it was made, and we are looking at this. And somehow you're dragging a statement that was not inciting politically. That was not. You could say. You could say it's a statement of intimidation to political people who are planning to contest politically in the FCT. You could say it's a statement of intimidation. But for you to say that that statement is inciting violence in Rivers State.
Can I tell you how it's
inciting? Make it make sense to me.
Do you know that you will not, if you are not supporting Tinubu, as ADC or Amechi is coming, we know the story of PDP. And now we know the story of how Labour Party were able to, whether they have survived or not, I don't know. And now that ADC is coming together, and you know the weight, whether we like it or not, the weight that, because Amechi still have his sympathizers, he still has his followers. And if somebody has made, look at the connection of the state, if somebody has said, if you're not supporting Mr. President, you will not win. And someone has already said in his party, giving the party terms and conditions for the party to move forward. Also saying that you will not field candidates. What do you think that the person will not do to stop any other political party that is gathering weight? You are telling you are
party that is gathering weight.
That is going to register, because once Amechi registers, once Amechi comes into Rivers State to register, it's already a political wave. It's already a political wave. So if somebody has made, that is why I told you I don't do this carefully, because somebody has made this statement and somebody is coming to Rivers State to institute a political party that will challenge the status quo.
Now, are
you not seeing the correlation?
I'm not seeing the correlation.
So anything that will happen to stop this particular political party or this particular movement from holding, anything that will make this particular place to have a strong footing will be nipped in the bud.
Now, let's look at it from the other angle. Yes. While on one hand, I do not believe that statement that was made during FCT polls was inciting violence.
But it can be applicable anywhere.
I do not.
Do you know it can be applicable anywhere?
Hold on. I do not believe that statement is inciting. And a statement made during statements that if you don't support Tinubu, I will not support you, will not win. Somehow is inciting.
Hold on. We have not forgotten what happened in Rivers State.
Hold on, please. I do not believe that statement in any way incited violence in Ubima, Rivers State, with regards to ward registration. Now, you brought the second variable.
Okay.
With regards to ADC being formidable, right, in Rivers State. Now, one would say to a large extent, and you said that the Amechi was coming to establish ADC in Rivers State. That was your submission, correct?
Yes.
All right.
But, once it's established, that way.
By your variable, one would wonder if ADC actually is existing in Rivers State. Now, what I mean by that statement, several people on this show, where is ADC? Now, for example, prior to the by-elections in Rivers State,
Yes.
ADC was the first party that came out to boast that they were going to win the 2 by-election seats. They boasted. I discussed that on this show.
Yes.
And I have even tried to, anyway, that's by the way. Now, after all that boast, ADC went silent. In all these times, Amechi has been coming to Rivers State and going.
Yes. And
that was not an issue. That ADC won his court case does not translate in ADC being established in Rivers State. Let's say a case in High Court when there are room for appeal in appeal court and Supreme and anything can happen. Does not, it's, one would say one is shouting hooray before time,
victory.
Right? One can't say it's victory yet. But in other cases, like the PDP has ongoing court case, but you feel their presence. Labour Party has ongoing court case, even at the national level, but you could see Labour Party doing 1 or 2 across different states. In Rivers State, where is ADC? Except that one time that they came out to boast that they were going to win the by-elections, nobody heard anything anymore. In fact, it was Bode George that even came out at some point to say, oh, ADC has been disenfranchised, when he was trying to accuse INEC of being partial to political parties. So one would say that for someone like Rotimi Amechi, who is expecting to win, at least who is expecting to, run for presidential on the platform of ADC, would have shown ADC some level of influence politically at his state, the grassroots. But we are not seeing any of that. So you're saying that Amechi is trying to play a safe political game to wait for his party to win in courts before he starts establishing ADC. When you look at the, I am not interested in reaction of Atiku.
Because so some of them
we are not discussing Atiku.
I know, but we know the government in power, how they have been dealing with political parties, and immediately that case was ongoing, which you know, or which I will know in Nigeria, how the political court cases have been going. Then that is why ADC even went quiet, waiting for the outcome of that particular judgment at the High Court. But at least it is a case that have been it stands as a judgment. Whether in High Court or in Appeal Court, it stands as a judgment. So now you're saying with ADC literally being non-existent. When I say that word, I don't mean it literally, because I understand what you're saying. When I say it means that in the political ecosystem of Rivers State, just as APP went silent, we are not hearing of it. I understand what you're saying.
Are you saying that ADC right now is a threat to, I wouldn't say PDP or APC, right? Let me just use the Rainbow Coalition, because all of them have coalesced into one. Are you saying that ADC is a threat to the Rainbow Coalition? You know, that will warrant that attack at Ubima?
You know that Nigerians now are looking for a way to, to rescue themselves. Just like ADC is a coalition. Nobody is looking at ADC. Why you see ADC the way it is because Nigerians don't know the face of ADC. We don't know whether it's Atiku. They recall that the way our mindset is structured here is most of us don't know who our representatives are, or the senator from our Senate district. We know the governor and the president. These are the people we think that will change our narrative. That's why nobody holds a councillor accountable. So, not knowing that a councillor has a role to play in my life, in my village, you understand. But everyone is calling Tinubu. So why ADC is where they are now is because the tsunami hit the Nigerian political ecosystem in 2023.
is what the Nigerian people are waiting for. If they conclude, let me tell you that ADC, on this table of truth, I've told you the often time that if ADC want to destroy his roof, let them present Atiku. Let Atiku emerge. And you see that ADC, you are even talking about ADC having some names. We are calling their name. It will go into the 10 Nobody will remember it. But people are just looking. Nigerians, even most Nigerians that voted Labour Party, we are not carrying members of Labour Party. Nigerians are looking for a vehicle that will take them to their destination.
We are not talking about the influence. That's
why I'm saying.
We are not talking about influence or non-influence of ADC at the national level.
No, but that's where people are looking at.
We are talking
that is why they don't have that face here.
Hold on yet, please. We all know.
That's why they don't have that face
here. The face of ADC right now is Atiku.
Yes.
Because it was Atiku Coalition.
Yes, that's
before it coalesced. It was called Atiku Coalition.
Of course.
Before it coalesced into ADC.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, moving forward, we are limiting this conversation to
Rivers State.
That's why I asked, hold on, that's why I asked you. Because you're saying that this came from the FCT minister scam. Now, I am now asking, is ADC suddenly so powerful as to it is, in Rivers State, that is now considered a threat? You also said one of your variables was that now that ADC has won its case at the High Court, that Amechi was coming to establish ADC in Rivers State. And that, I also remembered something. Sometime last year, ADC, Rotimi Amechi, the former Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi made, a ceremonial comeback
to
Rivers State. At the airport, there were massive people who came to welcome him. And I remember there, he said it, that he was coming back to establish ADC in Rivers State. That coming back, because he always comes to Port Harcourt.
Of course, that's what I said. Why is this one different?
That particular comeback was political comeback.
Of course.
Because he said, when he was addressing the people that came out for him, that he's coming to establish ADC. It's time for ADC. So when you say that, now that they've won the case, Amechi is coming to establish ADC in Rivers State, one would be like, he said it last year. It's over a year that he made that statement. And after he made that statement, ADC till now is non-existent.
But they have battles.
Considering
you record, they have battles.
PDP also has battles. APC also have their own battles. Every political party have their own battles, but they are moving on, right? But in Rivers State, one would say to a large extent, ADC is non-existent, in quotes. So how is it possible that a party that boasted of winning by-elections and could not even flaunt a candidate, could not do primaries for by-elections in Rivers State, a party that has not been in the news for anything at all, how is it overnight? How is it overnight such a huge threat that the FCT minister will now have to hatch a plan to obstruct their e-registration?
Laurentia, what you understand is that in this political game, and you neglect any opponent at your peril. This politics. No good politician. Let me give example. FCT minister. Even those people you consider power weights in politics, he needs it because he knows what number. There was a time FCT when they had a fallout, that how many votes were you using to rule Sokoto State?
If I to ask that question, do you remember the last time Rotimi Amechi won election in his local government?
No, I don't.
You don't remember the last time?
Yes.
The last two elections, did Rotimi Amechi win elections in his local government?
I can't say
so
for sure.
How then is he a threat? Hold on. It's all about that, because now when you look at, he wants to run for presidency.
Yes.
So one would expect that at least when your political party is looking at you, you should be able to. But Amechi's,
we have had those who lost their states and
a lot of persons.
Tinubu lost Lagos.
Hold on, a lot of persons. One can lose Lagos.
Yes, Tinubu lost Lagos.
No, you
don't.
One can lose Lagos and win his local government. That's not what I'm not asking states. Now, a lot of political pundits are saying that Rotimi Amechi's hope is coming from the north. Within the South, let's leave to take away River State. Within the South, how many states can Amechi comfortably say, I can deliver this state, even if it's one in South? That was why I had to even bring it home.
Closer.
Let's bring it home first. Charity starts from home, right? That's why I asked you a question. Can you remember the last time Rotimi Amechi won election in his local government, in his ward? You said you don't remember. Now, if you do not remember, and how then do you now claim that a man who did not win election in his local government or in his ward is now suddenly, overnight, a threat to Rainbow Coalition? I'm not a member of Rainbow Coalition, but I'm playing the devil's advocate right now.
I just made a categorical statement.
Which is?
That no real politician neglects any section when it comes to politics. Because politics is about them. And I have seen one of my uncles in those days, I think in either 2007, who just went and printed his poster, put everywhere. During that, is it on Hakim or some, just, got some 5 or 6 vehicles, painted his number, was running over around. At the end of the day, he was the first person to congratulate the governor that won. And they called him for, so this is politics. And the governor on seat was now reaching out to him, not knowing whether he has supporters or not. His jingles everywhere on the radio. This is politics, Laurentia. So the way you're saying it because it's here, and because you're seeing Amechi, you know what is going on. See, this is politics. Any threat of somebody, just like two cocks cannot stay in the same vicinity. They will fight it to finish. So, what if you are just opposing it with Amechi has lost over time his polling booth and his local government? It is not politics. Politics is about futuristic.
You said Amechi was a threat.
That is why he's a threat. That is where I'm coming. That is where I'm coming. So I'm trying to rescope that threat.
That is where I'm coming. Yes,
that is what I'm giving you.
All right.
That Amechi being a politician, and in politics, you don't know the clout or what somebody has until you go into the field. When P2B was coming, you saw everybody, the traditional Nigerian politician was saying, is this structure in the social media? But when Shove came to push, who was trying to rescue himself?
Using P2B is not a fair.
No. You are now relegating Amechi that they don't have a political
hold on.
That is where those analysis.
Using P2B is not a fair reference because it's an entire thing altogether. Because Peter Obi, that was his first time contesting presidential election.
So you were saying that the narrative of Amechi cannot change?
Hold on. That was
people's perception about Amechi cannot change.
Can you hold on? P2B has always had a particular image before the people. That was why when he came out to run for presidential election, he was like the Messiah. Peter Obi, people have always looked at him as the Messiah. And when the obedient movement started, it was a movement that rocked the whole nation on social media. And that was why he was, relegated by other political snobs who felt that election is not won on social media until real-time election came, and it was the Obi wave that even gave a lot of people seats in the National Assembly. However, we have a former governor who was also a former governor like Peter Obi, who also used to be a political godfather, or is a political godfather to some people in River State, who do not, you can, it's not a fair reference because, I mean, where is the Amechi movement nationally? When you're looking at Atiku, Atiku has what you would call national
clout.
Yes.
Yes, he has.
Does Amechi have that national coverage? Hold on. When you now come down to, so when you're looking at it at the national, and that is why Atiku's people are insisting that it must be delegate conference. They know the game they are playing because they know that if it comes down to delegate, Atiku is going to carry the day. Unless probably some agreements are reached and Atiku's people decide to back Amechi or Peter Obi or whoever as it were. But when we are to look at the strength of individuals and you want to compare Amechi to Peter Obi, that's where I'm looking at. Peter Obi, yes, you could say is an actual threat going by the variables on ground. However, going by Amechi's variable, I want to understand the national coverage that he has. Number one, I want to understand what is his movement. You have the Atiku movement, you have the Peter Obi movement. What is Amechi's movement at the national level?
But you don't
hold on. When you come down to Rivers State,
yes,
and his party is ADC. Now, one would expect that going by his influence alone, ADC should have been making waves. Just going by his influence, the fact that Amechi have decided to move, or he has made his intention clear that he wants to be in ADC, you would have seen massive defections into ADC, televised ones. You would have seen ADC office bubbling. You would have seen a lot of things. If nothing else, at least they would have been making noise on the pages of newspapers, you know, jingles and all of that. ADC is flat. Right? The only time they made noise was when they said they wanted to win election. Now, just at the threat factor, and I have said, when was the last time December Amechi won elections? If you're claiming so, if you're saying with a fact that this shootout, this attack at Amechi's convoy came from the FCT minister's camp, I am looking at what could warrant the FCT minister to put his integrity on the line and his reputation on the line to attack Amechi. You say Amechi is a threat. So we are now decimating that threat because I need you to make it make sense to me. In terms of political clout strength in Rivers State, how do you compare the two?
And nationally as well. I have said something to you that is because you are seated here and you are in Rivers State. But if you go by what politics is, I think this is the third time I'm saying it, that a politician do not, you know, neglect any opponent because you don't know what he could snowball into. That is politics for you. And if Amechi is not a threat, you know, you've been asking me this question. If he's not a threat, what is in it while Amechi to come and register in his words? That alone
good question.
Is $1 million question. Why will Amechi, other people have been registering other people? So why, the question will be, why will Amechi be the person that when he said I'm coming to register, if you're not a threat? From what we are saying now, if Amechi is not a threat, or if Amechi has no clout at all, or he has no political image in Nigeria and the River State, why is the headache of whoever must have orchestrated that? And it is coming from a political opponent.
All right, very well.
So
I love that
why will the person be bent on
stopping Amechi?
On obstructing Amechi's comment in trying to intimidate, gag. Then if Amechi is a nobody, is a neophyte, if Amechi does not have a political value, if Amechi does not present any political threat to the person, why expending your energy and your resources in stopping somebody who has not, just like APC have all 30 governors. APC have all the 30 governors. Pass electoral law for Nigerians to have real-time transmission is a problem. Why will you still be putting all your people around the chains of government?
All right.
So that is what, in my view,
That maybe
you feel that for Amechi to have been attacked. Now, let us look at that $1 million question that you asked. Yes, you said this is politics, right? You recall when during the local government election campaigns last year, and APC secretariat, there were attacks here and there.
Yes.
In one of those shows, you, Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, sat on this show and told me that APC secretariat attack was orchestrated by the APC.
Because they had factions.
You said it was.
Yes,
you said it was self-sabotage.
It was self-sabotage.
Now, let's still go there. Now, one would say, if we are to look at that attack, it started the previous day, right?
Yes, a day before the actual
and
day.
Continued until that shootout. Was anyone killed?
That's intimidation. Nobody was killed.
Hold on.
Nobody was killed.
Hold on, Ugochukwu. I am not supporting, let me make it clear.
I
am not supporting the attack.
You are trying to bring out
sometimes they say when you want to catch a thief, you think like a thief. So let me think once like a detective who everybody is a suspect right now. Was anyone killed? No. And despite that, people were still registering, correct?
Yes.
And that attack to keep happening means there were people to be attacked.
Surely.
Correct.
There was an event they want to do.
Which means that despite the ongoing attack, people were still doing what they were doing.
It was after they have been
Now,
dislodged.
if
after they have been dislodged.
Hold on. Even after all that,
yes,
the next day, that attack continues because people were still present. You don't attack an air. People were still present. So now, which will make me ask the question.
Okay.
Why did people feel confident to go where violence was ongoing?
You know,
that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, how come there was these attacks and we are yet to get reports of physical victims or injuries on the people that were attacked? That is number two. And number three, how come the attack was ongoing till there was a shootout between the former minister Amechi's security details and these other people who knew that they were coming. They did not strategize. I mean the hoodlums look for backup, right? And they suddenly withdrew into the bushes. In all these attacks that happened over 24 hours, nobody was harmed.
So
what we have on record is that ADC ward office was burnt down. That was literally the only thing that was recorded to happen in line with that shootout. Now, when you think about all these things, the way I'm thinking about it right now, I am beginning to wonder who actually orchestrated that attack. Because if a political party is attacking another political party's exercise, there will be injuries, particularly when sporadic shooting is involved. One would have recorded maybe 1 or 2 deaths. One would have recorded injuries. Let me bring your mind back to how political violence works out in Rivers State. Recall the time that the local government, the former local government chairman, when their time came to an end and they refused to vacate the office. What happened in Rivers State?
Yeah, there was
different local secretariats, people died.
Police officers died. Local governments.
Police officers died. People died. People had machete cuts. They were victims of stray bullets. That's how political fights in Rivers State, when you say it's violent, there will be casualties. And in this instance, in Ubima, it happened for a while and nothing happened. No casualty. Nothing. Who actually orchestrated this political?
Laurentia, if you go by that, people go with anybody who is a political thug, or anybody who goes on a dirty game, we go with the instruction of the master. The only thing that we do, disrupt the registration, send the message of intimidation, message of violence, message that this will not hold. But the significance is the burning of that party office.
And
it sends
but the same you said that APC burnt its own office.
No, APC had two factions. It must have come from either faction. That's what I said then. You have Emeka Beke, and you have the Tono Kocha faction. So when such just like the one that happens between PDP, the two factions. So you will only play now the Tono Kocha faction then was because there was litigation. That should suffice for no particular faction to be making use of the secretariat.
So in this instance, you're saying that this
faction was not going to make use of the secretariat.
You're saying that this government that attacked
from the other place.
You're saying that this government that carried out this
they had mission.
Had an order. The order was not to hurt anybody.
That's what it should be.
Are you part of the government?
No. What about the OB incident?
Like I said, let's not get
see. This is analysis and this is shooting.
When you analyze, you will leave. When you enter Edo State, you completely leave River State.
Yes.
And stay there. That's why I don't even want you to go there. Right? Let's stay in River State.
Okay.
You understand? And when you're analyzing with River State, there are a lot of the River State politics is very different from Edo State politics.
No.
They are attacks, but the ecosystem is entirely different.
No, I'm not doing
the people there are also very different.
No, I'm not.
Now let's draw inference from political attacks that have happened in River State over time. Political attacks that happened in River State over time, they are usually casualties.
No. This one is different.
Now you're saying the order for this one is different.
See, this one is like you have just said that ADC is not on ground. ADC is still building, and the coming home of Amechi to register is significant. Just like P2B just registered. You know, the other time I was saying that P2B
interestingly, I forgot to mention. You know it is e-registration.
Yes.
What was e-registration?
No. This one, we have seen the governors. APC floated their own. Governors went there to capture. That is why we even say that where was Fubara? He should be the one that they will use in starting the day. So let's leave that aside. He could come to his hometown to make a statement. This is his state. And he is coming to his ward instead of staying somewhere in Abuja. He's making a statement.
What the threat is.
It's what the threat is. So then it's not
how come when the first political statement was made in 2025?
No, that political statement was to be awareness. That ADC, that one is awareness.
ADC is now on
ADC
ground.
is now ground. That one is just an awareness. And that was his political home after leaving APC. So he could be excused.
But for this now,
it is actual politics. That is why the another question will be, Laurentia, who is feeling threatened by the coming home of Amechi to be
so registered? Who is being threatened?
That is the question on air, begging for an answer.
No, you're going to be because you have already said it here that is the FCT minister that is feeling threatened.
That is why we are saying that even APC, with all the governors, with them, why are they still threatened? Because this election is not about political party. This election is about the individual, about whom about people who want to vote. And they recall that what happened in River State, I voted in River State in 2023. What happened to the votes of people? People were, even till today, people are leading that Labour Party won River State.
What happened that the vote of Rivers State was given to APC? Who has come to disclaim, even the former chairman of Obiapo, Chijoke Imuwo, said it on national television. Who has called him? Let them take him
now,
to court.
now you have also said again.
Let them take him to
you
court.
have also said, you know, the more you speak, the more I find it interesting.
Yes, you find
now,
it
you have also said that elections, this election is not going to be about political parties, but about individuals. Correct?
About individuals, that is why I told you that if Atiku
do you still stand by that?
Yes, if Atiku comes,
right,
that's why I said if Atiku
by that,
emerges in ADC might not have that solidarity.
We are coming. I'm limiting this to Rivers State.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to go on
yes,
international.
If
you say that elections in 2027 is going to be by individuals, not by political parties, then how then is Amechi a threat, since you cannot remember the last time he won elections in his
local government,
in his ward self.
Okay.
And not just that, the people he supported and Rivers people knew he supported did not even come second in elections in Rivers State. One, you were making your defense from the angle of, oh, ADC as a party is going to be the threat, and that was why this attack had to happen. Now you have transited from that now, and you have now brought it down to individual, that elections in 2027 is going to be by individual strength and not by political party. And if we are to go by that, how then, because I'm trying to make it make sense to me, how then is Amechi the individual now that is going to be seen as a threat, when in the first instance, you as a person do not remember the last time he won an election, or his influence made his candidate win election, even in his own local government. Make it make sense.
But I've answered you that question.
You have also answered that anything can happen.
That in any political climate, your opponent is always a threat. Just like you are in a football pitch, and you now say that because you have a squad, you have a team that has been beating people over time, and you now go to the other opponent and you say we can easily, beat these people silly. It's your own peril. That is politics, because politics comes with a different wave.
Do you think it's fair making inference that the FCT minister's camp was responsible for this?
You see, this is politics.
Because that is why I asked.
Yes, this is politics.
This is why I asked you this is. Maybe tomorrow, these days, when people make comments on national television, even on social media, after that comment, there is freedom of speech. The problem is freedom after the speech. If you're being called upon to defend the accusation that you made on the FCT minister's camp, can you defend it? Do you think these variables that you have mentioned are actual concrete defense?
These variables are very, very visible to the blind and loud to the deaf. Which other political party is here? No, tell me, which party will be feeling threatened by the presence of Amechi? Which other? Is it PDP? Or is it the Rainbow Coalition? Who is the leader of the Rainbow Coalition? And who is bent on stopping people not to present candidates? No, this is the facts speaks for themselves.
When you say stopping,
no. See, I don't want to go to. It's not everything I say.
When you say stopping, the stopping people from presenting candidates.
PDP today cannot present a candidate.
Well, the truth of the matter is that now, when you say someone is bent on stopping people from presenting candidates, it is parties that present candidates, not people. People are actually godfathers to candidates, right? But it is parties that flaunt. We don't have independent
candidates. Parties.
Now,
but
when it comes to elections, presidential elections proper, you will now start saying that probably the FCT minister will be looking at playing the politics at the political party level. Not because you're talking of presidency. One state cannot field a presidential candidate.
You know, I'm talking about my knowledge of a PDP.
I understand. I understand 100% because now you're saying who is interested or who has said he will stop people from presenting candidates.
Yes.
Now you're making reference to the statement by the FCT minister, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, last time I checked, the FCT minister has not gone attacking individuals in PDP, has he? Rather, the crisis has always been between PDP and PDP.
But in impeding the progress of PDP.
Regardless of how you look at it.
Okay.
What is going on is a party must present presidential candidates, not an individual. So I am still coming down to your variable because you're saying whose interest is being threatened. The FCT minister's interest is being threatened because of the individual that will present the candidate. I'm trying to let you know that it is the party that will present the candidate. And if there is anybody to go to war with, it will not be individual.
No, you didn't get what I said. I said who's stopping for parties.
No, you said who is stopping individual. Later I can go and individual. I listen when you speak.
That is stopping parties from presenting candidates.
Even if I'm to go by that now, even if I'm to go by that
party that is being threatened.
So if the political party is being threatened,
how would they present candidates?
Well, one would say first of all, I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Yes. No, you are right.
Registration is e-registration, not physical registration. Yes. So if you're talking about that, you could talk about world congresses. If there are attacks on the world congresses, right, on the state congresses of ADC, that will hamper ADC from having a structure in Rivers State, I can sit back and start looking at arguments. If we are to discuss politics in the real sense of the word and being politically strategic, if it comes to maybe attack, one would say it's foolish to attack Amechi because you're giving him unnecessary relevance and publicity.
No, yes.
But when we can have this conversation is if there is an attack during local government and state congresses.
So the attack now.
Hold on, please. I can now sit back and start looking at it from the angle of political strategy because you want to destabilize ADC from having structure in Rivers State. And if they do not have structure in Rivers State, it's a problem. However, for the Guba elections, not presidential elections. However, and it will also affect the delegates that will represent Rivers State at the national level, thereby further reducing Amechi's number of delegates. Let's get that right. Now, still moving forward, one would also say if that attack happened at the Congress level, now we are now looking at the attack going to the heart of ADC in the sense that it's affecting the structure. But and that is usually what it will affect is the Guba elections. But then they also, the Constitution did not say you must go to your ward. So the ADC could choose to fly its people, members of the ADC, to anywhere in this part of the country and hold elections. Moving forward, if you are to even go to a more advanced political strategy, it will be what is happening in PDP, what is happening in Labour Party. And even the case that ADC has, you know that ADC has more than one case. We are talking of the one of internal squabbles.
Yes.
You have not mentioned the one of INEC, the registering ADC and other political parties. That case is still standing. And when you look at the variables of the case, there is one that will actually get ADC disqualified if the court is to look strictly at the Electoral Act. I am not even going there. So what I am looking at is when you are pointing fingers, because I am trying to pick out your variables one by one and look at it critically, right? So that you also know what whether your variables are concrete.
No, they are not. They are
concrete in your eyes.
They are.
And now we are looking at it. I'm looking at it from the other prism, because we cannot have a monotonous conversation.
No.
I'm looking at it from the other prism that if you're saying it, if you've considered this, have you considered that?
See, Laurentia.
Yes.
From all the expose you've made is, I want to take you back to what e-registration, yes. but Amechi is a political bigwig. And you are the person that have been saying that ADC is not on ground. So he's coming to register his words. Is a significant, is a big statement to now, enlighten people and to get the people's conscious, the people conscious to, that ADC is now in place. So whether he registers in Abuja or he registers, the only thing is that this is politics. Anything you want to do as a politician, you are speaking to your supporters. So any which way Amechi wants to register, it's nobody's business. He has chosen to come to his hometown to register. And the coming home is making a statement. And I say, ask the question, who is being threatened by Amechi homecoming to mere registration? Mere registration of a political party. Because politicians know what it means. Right. It is I here, and you sit there, I don't know what. When it happened to Fobara here, we stayed here and dragged Fobara. But now that is Amechi, nobody is talking about it. It is now not significant. But he as a politician, and we that are political students, know what it means for him to come home. That coming home alone is campaign. That coming home alone is the curiosity of the people will be aroused. The party will be built in the consciousness of the people. When Peter Obi wanted to defect to ADC, what did he? He went to Enugu. It was strategic. This one he just registered because I knew that he had not tendered his formal resignation from Labour Party. No, I say it's strategic for him to go there and now declare it was a regional affair. So that I am using it to give you how politicians play their politics. Any move by a politician is to expand his coast. Is to announce himself. You don't need to go to the pages of newspaper and saying, I want to do that alone is the news. They are newsmakers. That's what we call them in communication. In field of communication, they are the newsmakers. This Amechi has come home, is making news.
It actually made news because of this attack.
No, it would have made news. Because Amechi will be coming with his own media team. And other media stations will be there, whether we like it or not. No matter how microzoned, you may be seeing Amechi. Amechi is still a force to reckon with
the news of this attack
has now amplified it.
And so you get the point.
Yes, I've amplified it.
Amechi registering is the same as P2B registering. It's a normal general news anybody can see anywhere. However, Amechi being attacked on his way to register in his ward is now a bigger news.
That is why it's senseless.
So now, at the end of the day, well,
and why have nobody been apprehended?
Well,
why is the Nigerian police Grace Eringi Cook? I've not had her. I've not had her make a statement.
They have not stayed.
You understand? They are but we know where those investigations end because that be. This is Nigeria now. That is why I told just Amechi now. If Amechi, prevent anything happens to him. Look at I sat here.
Nothing will happen.
I sat here, Malaysia, and told you that El-Rufai is among the untouchables in Nigeria. When they touch it, what happened? Obi that was shot in the crisis in Edo, say who much on the. So Nigerians should use it to learn their lessons and guide themselves. Your life, your safety first. Because if it happens, we will just talk about it. Nothing will, no heads will roll. And before we leave it finally, I want to beckon on the political actors in River State. We don't want to go back to the dark days. We have not accounted for Bola Ige. We have not accounted to Harry Marshall. Laurentia, we are going places in ATN. I give you what happened. After we sat here two weeks ago, you remember I made mention of the killing of Harry Marshall. A lawyer has gone to court to start the investigation. I don't know if you have seen it on the news. The person watched this because people forget. Nigerians have short memories. People have forgotten those people. If not for us analysts that you know, sometimes issues can snowball into you mentioning those names. Leah Sharibu, who is giving her that quarter of newspaper again. But if somebody talks about her, you see, people, Mubad, who is remembering her, Alex Bade, who is remembering those people now.
Right.
These are the people that have died because of this political activism and nothing happened. So what we are saying in effect is that, please, let us not hit the polity. Politics is a game of interest.
Would you say, going by what has happened now and in Rivers State, very condemnable?
Very, very.
Because I will always say it's condemnable. However, I will do my job by looking at every single variable.
Of course, of course.
And the fact that I'm periscoping it very seriously.
No, you are bringing it to what it ought to be.
You laid accusation.
Yes, and
I want to know why you laid that accusation.
Yes.
But then it appears that politics in 2027 is going to take a very different dimension.
That's why I say I don't want us to go back to that days.
That would be a very violent dimension if nothing is done about it, if it's not properly checked.
You have said it all.
Now, because when you look at what happened in Edo State, the attack on P2B, and it's still ADC.
Yes.
And then you now have this attack on Amechi. Even though I am skeptical and I'm very interested to know how this will end, one would say, are we transiting into politics going from what it should be to do or die?
We are retrogressing now because we are going back to the dark days. Especially in River State, we know what it has been, maybe if not for the B factor. But you were here when I told you that I voted in my own parish. I voted on the presidential election day, which was in February. Fast forward to August, to March 18th. Lorecia, I could not vote. I could not, the place was flooded with talks. I could not vote on the governorship election day in my own parish, where we have about 23 polling units. So is it what we want to go back to, where ADC now will bring their own talks and PDP, what do you call it, APC will bring their own talks, and how will people exercise their franchise? That means people, we are talking about disenfranchisement, that people, look at what happened in Abuja. Look at what happened in River State by-election. How many votes? That means the minority will continue to elect people that govern the majority. And that is why politicians don't care. Because if they are governing us by the number of votes we turn out, Nigerians should have the joy of going to exercise their franchise. But what do we see? People every day are becoming lukewarm because of all those infractions. So I beckon on the political actors to take it easy. They are governing human beings. It is for our own good.
The question will be, are politicians becoming increasingly desperate?
No, it's desperation now.
To power, because what we say to a large extent, this seems to be desperate. This also brings me back to the elections in 2023 and what happened in Lagos State.
Yes.
Where a lot of people who came out to vote for Labour Party were attacked by MC Olomo and his staffs, right? And even Kate Henshaw, an actress, some of them went out.
Was assaulted.
She was also, she ran for her life, she streamed it live. And
many of them.
People were clearly fingered. People were caught on camera doing that, and they were not called to account.
Yes.
And
they will still be around
nothing happened.
They will still be around
so now,
2027.
One would say and this whole violence was linked to APC during the 2023 elections in Lagos State.
Yes.
And one would say to a large extent, with all these things happening, and fingers are pointing at the ADC, the APC, the president probably it's time to have conversation with his people, his supporters, because it will even further whittle down his support base moving into 2027 if this crisis continues, and then voter apathy will also increase.
Will increase.
They don't want to go and die.
Look at 3 of them go to Obi. Atiku and the Tinubu, how many votes? If you join them together, 6.1 million, Atiku 6.8 million, Tinubu 8 million.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
No, you're only what you just said. It might not work that. It might not work. No, it might not work like that because obedience have not told you they will vote Atiku. Obi and his people appears to be very different.
No, you don't. I'm talking about the result of 2023. Yes. The number of people
but now they are coming together, right, in ADC. And if they come together in ADC, and probably Obi is not giving the tickets, there is no guarantee that
he
will vote for Atiku.
No, he won't be there. Obi will not be in ADC. He said he will be on the ballot. He has maintained it. He said, I will be on the ballot. Obi has
registered as ADC.
No, it doesn't. The defect now, I know now, we are registered.
Have you gone through the electoral act, the new electoral act? Are you aware?
They don't give wave again.
Now, the new electoral act, that is why political parties are crying.
Yes.
The new electoral act will prevent all these things from happening. I think section 70 or so.
Okay.
You know, political parties were busy dragging the electronic votes
transmission
that they forgot to lose the others. They understood what happened after it was now passed. And I think, well, now, what happens is that is why political parties are all rushing to do their e-registration because the window now is very short.
Yes.
They have up until, I think, March or April to submit their
national register.
Yes. Now, INEC recognizes that this is the national register. And when that window passes, there can no longer be registration for party membership. If that window closes for party membership, party primaries will much later.
Yeah, of course.
And when that party primaries hold and ends, and you choose to defect because it didn't go well.
With you.
With what national register?
Are you going to?
Because last time INEC checked, you are a member of the ADC. And so your guess is as good as mine. So politicians have to be very, very careful in this defection thing because, and if you're defecting to any party, you have to be sure that it's going to favor you. Because if at the end of the day that window closes, the register is submitted to INEC, INEC takes into account. It means that you cannot run an election on another political party because the register that INEC has, you are a member of the ADC. So you cannot suddenly, because the primaries did not favor you like Obi did in 2022. It didn't favor him in PDP. He ran over to, in this instance, it's not going to work.
Okay, and to
that extent, it's a very good one.
I even love it. I love it.
It's very good.
I love it.
So if that plays out in ADC, because that's what is going to play out, unless Obi loses to Atiku. Atiku's camp is insisting it must be delegate conference. If it's delegate conference, you know that Atiku is going to win because Obi has not solidified state because he has been busy doing every other thing but playing the real politics at the party level. So now that is going. Let's probably Atiku and Obi comes to an agreement and they decide to flaunt Obi. And
so what's the fate of Kwankwaso now? Is he going to use his
Kwankwaso said he won't want to be vice president, yes? Has he agreed to be vice president?
They are floating Obi Kwankwaso now.
Yeah, they are floating Obi Kwankwaso. One would say, do you think it's a good arrangement?
For political numbers, it's a good arrangement.
It's going to be a good arrangement.
Yes, for political
Then you
numbers.
bring in the fast reducing numbers Atiku have, and then you bring in Amechi. Would Amechi work for Obi?
Amechi has no option than to work for Obi.
You think so?
Yes.
Maybe depending on the agreement that is reached.
Maybe they will take him as ambassador to the United States.
ADC is going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
you know, coming into. I'm interested to see how this whole.
I want to see how the thing pans out.
Will pan out. Serious, I think a lot of politicians do not understand the implication of that electoral act until primaries are done.
Until the monies come upon them.
They will now understand.
Wow.
They will now understand that.
those who structured it. But it's good because we
the politicians themselves structured it. You know the thing is,
and if you see some of them in APC now that came, you saw the Congress in Delta State, which some of those political people, Ibori, Moke, and Ovioma Agege boycotted. Now that the PDP has taken over the structure of APC, as they alluded, now that in the Senate under APC or PDP representing those states, and they want to go back, immediately you have been stuck, because even you can't go to other political parties, because if you're not chosen, you understand, if you're not chosen to flag the flag of your party, you cannot go to any other political party. You know, that's why some of them gained from Labour Party. You know, majority of them, like Waboise, some of them gained, immediately their party denied them, they went to Labour Party and they won. So, but this time it will not.
It's not going to be business as usual.
And which is good for our government.
I think APC did it.
They did it for their own favor.
Yes.
In order to
however, yes.
So that those people will not go and
but then they will be inside and work against them. You know that politics have transited from party supremacy doesn't work anymore in Nigerian politics.
They can be there and
they will be there, but frustrate them. So it's a two-way traffic. I think probably they are looking at people not defecting later because of the OB factor in 2020.
What of double registration that most of them do? You know, placeholders
like
and all that.
I said, INEC will have that register. And probably in that register, they will see where you registered first.
Whether you're
and where you registered first. And where you registered first probably becomes your party.
Your home.
So the second registration will be an afterthought. And probably if it is contested, you could even lose both parties.
Prosecuted, yes.
You could lose being member of any of the party. Because I mean that is not it's not politically right.
No, it's not political. You're not a statesman.
2027 is going to be interesting. A lot of people say this time a politician is the president of the country, and not just having a politician that is president, but it's also the first time. I wouldn't say it's the first time. Let's say first time a core politician is being the president of the country and has the legislature
to his kitty
and knows how to lobby his way out of things and into things. So let's see how this plays out. But the disadvantage, it's leaving a serious bitter aftertaste in the mouth of Nigerians with respect to the 10th Senate. With respect to the 10th Senate. But we'll see how it's going to play out. Whether the will of Nigerians will torpedo, right, whatever electoral and political maneuverings that will happen. And
if they allow the re-election to take place. Now they have gotten
elections will hold earlier than expected.
I know their will in the Electoral Act. Let us have free, fair, and credible elections, and then let's see what happens.
Free, fair, and credible elections. Right. A lot of persons say that the only free, fair, and credible elections Nigeria ever had was MKO Abiola election that was cancelled. But then that is also contestable. Thank you so much, Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, for coming. It's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you, Laurentia and Nigerians. You know, anytime we dive into River State, it's huge. And
we open a lot of cans of worms.
And I want to plead to political actors in Nigeria anywhere that this energy and this kind of power they impute in politicking, they should also invest it in the dividends of democracy. Because if they put in like 60% of the energy with which they use in fostering themselves on us, and they want to grab political positions in delivering the actual service, Nigerians will not be crying. Will not be crying that fuel is going back to 1,000 plus. We'll not be crying that no service vehicles on our routes. We'll not be talking about epileptic electricity supply, because now we don't even have fuel for our cars. What of the one that the Gencos
use in providing public power supply? That's $1 million question, Laurentia.
Right.
Because our suffering seems to be increasing when we thought that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies are beginning to, see the light of the day. Let him try with his economic team not to allow Nigerians to be pushed back to the dark.
When you talk about the Gencos and electricity, I might just, even though we are out of time, I just take a very different position because Abia State have left the national grid. They have left the national grid.
And very soon Bayelsa will leave.
Bayelsa will leave. Small Bayelsa State will leave. And in Rivers State, we are rich.
No, we are playing politics.
And we are still.
And chief of staff.
When it comes to light situation and all of that, for some reason we should start putting pressure
on our state government. I'm putting pressure on him.
Let him be in some things and ask the state governors. Abia State has left the national grid.
How did they do it?
Can we leave the national grid?
Imo State have built power plants and even modular refinery. What of River State?
Yes, very good question.
River State modular refinery, where is it? River State, even the ones that Amechi did, who will revitalize them and give us the farm?
Let's not go too far. Considering that we have little or no time left to elections in 2027, and the governor has to do at least a lot of time has been spent in his office fighting protesters. The shortest time left, even if it is business, stabilizing electricity in Rivers State, to a large extent, Rivers people, it will make the governor so popular within, the Rivers people, residents and individuals.
His name in the House of Rivers people.
I am begging you, sir, remove us from the national grid. However, Abia State did it. We have more resources than Abia State. We can do it.
Our 600 billion is still
we can do it within a shorter period of time. Governor Fubara, please, this electricity, sort it out for Rivers people, and write your name down. Write the sounds of time that at least in your tenure within this short period of time, you were able to remove us from the national grid and make our light independent and make us have steady light. It will also increase the IGR of the state. Sincerely, it will increase the IGR of the state, because now a lot of companies that shut down because of power supply, a lot of SMEs that depend on power to survive, now a lot of people will start doing more businesses because now we have steady power supply. It's going to be economically profitable.
Yes.
Anyhow you look at it. Thank you so much, Governor Fubara, for listening to this appeal. Now, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you so much, our viewers, for always staying connected to us. I'll see you at the same time tomorrow. I remain Laurentia. Bye for now.
The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 Anniversary Celebration Lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management. Frontline.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of justice.